girl in a red dress. Call 911, I'm a killer. You know I hate to confess. Bang, bang, got my hand on the
All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel, man. Thank you for everyone tuning in once again. All the likes, shares, comments, subscribes, all that good stuff. Please keep it up. I really appreciate it. Today we have an Evo 10 install going down. We have the brand new Flex Fuel kit that just hit the market. There will be a link in the bottom so you can buy the exact one if you want it. Previously, WTF and German Fab were the main makers for the Evo 10 Flex Fuel kits. They've pretty much been non-existent with their product getting released and being out. So another company swooped in, they started making them, they're producing them, you can buy them right now, and this is how you install it. So let's go ahead and jump over, look at our product, and we'll knock this out. All right, let's go over the product lineup. For starters, this looks exactly like the Driven Fab kit, exactly like it, man. Innovative is working with them in everything. And when I say them, it's the Need for Speed Performance people. Need for Speed, also known as Need for Speed New York, if you've maybe seen them on like Instagram or something like that. I've definitely seen this company. They are now producing these, link in the bottom so you guys can get all hooked up with this exact system like we're doing today. So you have your ethanol content sensor for starters. Okay, I did put this in a little $5 eBay cubby, and we're gonna put that in the little cubby on the bottom and mount it upside down, so you'll see that thing today. I cut a little hole at the bottom, just running my wires out there. You have your new ethanol content sensor, your PTFE line, which are known to make 0 scent come out of them, especially with E85, and they can't eat and corrode this line. You have your new little fittings over here, all your wires to go plug and play, nice and simple, a couple stickers, directions, and a programming thing that you will not be using at all. But regardless, it's all here. Let's go ahead and jump in the car and show you how easy this thing is to pop in. All right, so in the back seat, first thing we have to do is actually get up the bottom of the back seat. All right, so if you haven't taken this thing out before, you have one clip here and then one clip on the opposite side, and you can literally grab these and just pop them up just like that. You got to put a little force behind it, but it happens. And then there's a little hook down here holding, just a little hook like against the seat, okay? So after you get it all the way, you're gonna pull up all the way, and after, eventually, if you get up high enough, the hook comes out from under it, move your seat belts, and you can pull this whole unit out. Okay, now with the back seat off, it exposes this little tray right here. It is held in by some like black tar glue, so you're just gonna pull it evenly and making sure you're not crimping this in any spot and damaging it. Start up in this little corner right here, you can get a grip, and then it's down the way. Like I said, as you can see, that little sticky tar stuff, all right? But now we can see the top of the fuel tank here, which we're gonna be working with. Okay, so out here, we're just gonna need a couple of tools here. As you can see, I got my sensors and everything over here now. We're gonna be taking off this 10 right here first, so you're gonna need a flathead. You'll also need a couple of wrenches when we do connect these lines. An 11/16 and a 5/8 seem to fit perfect there. I have my sensor out here, and I also have some shop towels I'm gonna put under right now, because you don't want, some fuel will come out of here, obviously, because it's still naturally in the line. So I'm just gonna protect it as best as possible to not get it everywhere. Then you can just put your flathead right under this back here. A little wiggle it back and forth, and that has released it now. Now we're able to actually just to pull it straight out. Just like that. As you can see, a little bit of fuel did come out. We're gonna reuse this line in 1 second. Just with that line disconnected right here, we can go ahead and put our PTFE line with our sensor. For starters, your sensor right here is going to be facing like this. It's actually going to use a plug in a second, which you'll be able to reach under there, but it's going to sit right back here like this. So you can actually take off your cap off that one side, and you're going to connect your original line with the green fitting right over it, push it all the way in deep enough, and then you should be able to push it down over the little rivet it has on there, okay? We're going to tuck that back right here for now. In a second, we'll connect our PTFE line from here now with the 90-degree on the sensor, wrap it around here, and then have the straight portion connected there, just like that, and let's get it done. You do have the fittings, obviously, to go on there, so what I'll first do is I'll connect them onto this first. And remember, you're using an 11/16 and a 5/8 to actually tighten these down. You do not put any tape on there or anything like that to seal it up. These just seal by themselves. With the fuel, you'll have no leaks. Just like I always say, this is aluminum, so don't go crazy. All right, now with that tightened down, we're gonna put our 90-degree again on this side and loop it around to do the straight portion on this little white straight portion, okay? You did do the fitting here. You have your little cap, so you can just untwist the cap, and you're actually gonna slide it, if I can get a good vision on it. You're gonna slide it all the way against this part, as far away as possible, over the little hump, okay? Take that off like that now. use your right angle. And you should be able to push it past that little rivet right into there and start screwing this thing in, and then it'll pull it in and you'll have zero leak. All right, again, aluminum, so I'll give it a little quarter turn on there to get it nice and tight, and then we'll go ahead and jump back there and we'll tuck it back just like that. All right, sensor all tightened down over here. You just tuck this behind here. You're gonna tuck it under this back one, just like that. And then as you see, it will loop back right around to that. Now, usually, like the other one, I put this on here first and tightened it down, but I actually had a little error I had to fix even in this video right now, is you're gonna wanna connect this portion first. It's really tight down there. It's extraordinarily hard to spin this part because it seems to bottom out. So you're gonna wanna have to spin this part onto it instead of spinning this into that like you did the first one, if that makes sense. So we're gonna go ahead and same deal, slide our piece over where the hump is on the back side of it, slide this through enough to click right past there. And again, now you'll be spinning the big portion instead of the screw going in because it bottoms out. Nice little quarter turn. And there we go. That thing is nice and secure, and now we can screw this long portion into that, give it a little tighten, and then we can get to the next portion where the sensors are. And that is it, guys. Super simple. As you can see, it's just basically putting a bypass going through, looping around to itself, just so the sensor can read it all day. Obviously, there's some wires, so let's show that next portion. Okay, so different angle just so you guys can see. That was your sensor right here, 90-degree coming off of the PTFE line, wrapped all the way around and connecting to the original line right here that this one was going to, right? This is just a little bypass, as I was saying earlier, just to read your content, your ethanol content or whatever is in there all the time live to your gauge you have up front and eventually to the computer system when you get a flex fuel tune. So you have two different connections here. Your small little side will go all the way to the front in a minute and connect to the back of the gauge. Your other two are gonna connect back here. Today we're only gonna connect one because we're not at our flex fuel tune, okay? If you connect both sensors today, you'll throw a dash code because you're not, you don't have the tuning program for your flex fuel yet, right? That your tuner has that. So today, on the actual sensor, the ethanol content sensor, which you'll actually get a reading because you're gonna plug this in, you'll take your little purple plug and plug it in there where that plug was, okay? The second one, this one right here, is gonna plug into this stock plug. The stock plug, when you plug into that, will give you capability reading straight to the ECU so you can do actual true flex fuel. That's how they get it done. Don't plug this one in today if you're not at your flex fuel tune because you'll throw a code. If not, you just keep it by there. Everything will be fully connected, wired up, ready to go, so you can just plug one plug in, flex fuel ready. That's how we're gonna do that. After we connect it, we're gonna run the wires down here, make a little incision right here, a little slit side, and then we'll run the wires down here under the carpet into the front, and I'll show you how to get that done. First thing I wanna do is make this pop off and go ahead and make just a little cut in the inside. It doesn't have to be crazy. Make sure you don't cut any wires up there. Now that I have a little hole, I'll be able to take the front side, the smaller side that's going to the back of the gauge, and put all the feed all the way through so we can get this nice and clean and wrapped up. All right, guys, and there it is, nice and clean. The gasket's right back on just like normal. Can't even tell that wasn't OEM. Again, take the purple, reach back here. I'll pull my sensor out, connect that one, and then I'll leave the other one just nice and loose here, and we'll run this extra wire up to the gauge. And there she is, sensors all tucked back there with the purple wire connected. We have our extra plug right here. As I said, I'm just gonna tuck that down for now. I will start the car in a minute just to make sure none of these lines are leaking before I put my cover back on. And then we can go ahead and take this wire, zip tie it once or twice here. I'm gonna start running under the carpet and I'll show you exactly how to get that thing up front nice and clean. Okay, so the car is running right now. 0 leaks coming out of here, 0 smell. We are plugged into our sensor. All the lines are nice and tightened. We can go ahead and put our cover back on and then take it right back off, add our actual tune to just to plug this one thing in. But again, everything else will be connected. Including that though is running this line all the way to the front, which I'll show you right now how to do, and actually getting power and connection and mounting up this sensor of where you want to put it, or at least how we're gonna do it today. All right, guys, so I did run it down there, zip tied it there, zip tied it there, and then I dunked it under this carpet, okay? You're just gonna pull this thing up. It's just being held in by little white clips right there, and then this exposes this whole area. So I tucked it down there under the carpet, and then it pops up right here, and I zip tied this corner. Then to get it all the way up there, I just threw it down there, and then with my hands just tucked it up under this. You don't wanna have to take down this whole big portion, so you're able to just tuck it with your hands. And then when you get to the other side, you can keep tucking it, and eventually it'll pop out of here. Now, obviously, I did just take off those 2 panels, just like the back one. They just pop right up. I took off this one, and I took off that one. Again, just white clips, give us some motion to it, and you should be able to get that piece up. And then I just ran it down here, put a couple zip ties here, and as you can see, we are right here currently. And look how much slack I still have. So our plan right now is to do this gauge upside down. See all your wires running through the back, right on that little cubby. Now you can't see right now most likely, but right there's a little hole, and it's a pre-hole that's already there. Now it's covered up, so all you do is pop off that little panel, and then you can run your wires through the back of that. So next thing I'll do is actually just open up that panel. I'll take my wiring here, run it back down there, stick my hand back there, and try to get these connected before mounting this rather. All right, guys, and there it is. As you can see, I did pull this through the little cubby down there that has that little cover you just gotta pop off. So now I am ready for that. Again, this is the gauge. We did put it in a little pod here. It's gonna go upside down just like that. I'm having to mount it through the inside of this, which I'll show you guys how to do in a second here. But to go over the connections, you have your 2 little shorties, which we're not using today. Those plugs, I believe, are for that computer connection I showed earlier. You're gonna have the long portion of the cord you're gonna be using today. The one has a plug. That is for this plug right here, 4 connection to 4 connection. Plugs right in, nice and simple. You'll still have 4 left over. The brown and white, I'm gonna go ahead and electric tape off because I'm not using these today. I think one is a dimming and one is dimming. I'm not sure what they are, right? But you do have the red and the black. The black one we're gonna ground to one of the bolts up here. The red one we're gonna go ahead and put infuse right into our fuse tap that we already have under there. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about in a second if you haven't seen me install gauges before, but we're gonna kind of use some of the same sources out there, real nice and simple. These are not gonna be long enough with this cord to reach, so I most likely will extend these another 6 to 12 inches, which is some random wire that I have. You can use whatever to do that. So I'll go ahead and get that all prepared, string them through the back area, and then after that's done, I'll go ahead and mount this, and we're done. So gauge is now just sitting here loose. I want to make sure not to mount it before I check my power connections. I snaked it through the back, and it's coming right over this corner with this plastic panel I just pushed back. I did extend it. You have your positive and your negative. I understand they're both red, but one is negative. This one right here. So my negative, I'm just gonna strip off the tip of that and loosen up this 12 millimeter and shove it in between the bolt and the wall right here, the metal wall. That will ground it perfectly. It's the same thing that I did on my 2 gauges over here. I have 2 negatives going under this bolt, so not to clutter that, I'll do it on the other side. Then you have your positive to connect, okay? My positive, just like these 2 negatives are here, I did the 2 positives that were going to the gauges into 1 wire fuse. I'm gonna go ahead and just add my 3rd one into that same wire fuse and then just plug it back in because it has plenty of power to do that. Actually, I have 4 connected on my personal car, and so 3 is gonna be no problem. The wire tap, which I'll put a link in the bottom of buying wire taps off like Amazon, these are super awesome. You literally just pull out the fuse, put it in here with a second one, and then just put it right back in the position where that fuse was, and you'll get power all day, and it's really clean to do it like that. The one that I'm using that is a cigarette lighter, just to tell you in case you don't have like a little diagram, is going to be the 3rd one up from the bottom right corner. So bottom right corner, 1, 2, 3, there's going to be a 15, a 10, and then another 15. That's the 15 that is 3rd up on the right bottom corner, and you're just gonna plug that back in and your power source should be good. So I'll fast forward, do that, take my extra slack, zip tie it up behind there. I'll pop my little panel back on and we'll check our connection for our power source before mounting it up. All right, guys, as you can see, the panel is back up on here after we did our negative there. Our power infused into the same gauges that we have up here already, so we should have no problems with power, but of course, let's check it out before we mount this piece. Yeah, and there it is, man. We got power going. As I said, we are connected to the sensor right now, so this gauge will show you. Currently, with his 93 octane, he is 10.4%, 10.3%. ethanol in his regular gas. Okay, this will change obviously when you do your 85. You don't even need to see this, but when you plug that other plug at your flex fuel tune, then your tuner will be able to see it on the stock computer. That's why it's such a cool integrated system that they did. So keep that one loosely unplugged. This is it. We'll go ahead and mount this thing upside down, and that will be that. Now guys, this video will be 30-40 minutes long if I end up mounting this upside down and showing you guys. So basically you're just gonna take off this panel and get your head unit out of here. After that, it'll be a huge cubby behind here. You can stick your hand. Now this is just a little thin plastic layer here of plastic, and you have two little holes in here. So I'm just gonna do little baby hardware up there, do little drill taps going through the top to do that, and then I'll get little hardware and bolt it up against this little wall right here. And that's how you end up getting this effect just like this, just like I have in mind before. That's how I did it. That's how I'm gonna do it today, and to each their own, and good luck. Okay, so now with the front gone and the head unit out of here, you can reach your hand, just like I said, right back there. I'm touching that plastic panel we're gonna mount the little holes right against. So I'm just gonna drill some little baby ones, get some hardware and slap it up and tie it against that portion, put all this back on, put the back seat back in, and we are done with the project. All right guys, and there it is. Power source all there. It is completely mounted upside down. You can even stick your hand or your phone under there when you're driving, just like mine is. He's got his other gauges here. We are all good to go. Eventually we'll do a double pod down there when he gets an oil pressure or whatever gauge he decides to get next, but that is it. Now that you have your seatbelt up, all the belts through, make sure you connect this hook first. So you're gonna be getting these over these little hoops on the edges, and then putting the hook high, hooking under just like normal, and then you'll be able to connect your two bottom pieces by just jamming them down. It is a little tricky sometimes, guys, so be patient. And then again, your little hooks go right into these little plastic pieces here, and then here. You're good to go. All right, and that is it, guys. On the Rally Red Evo, we have our flex fuel kit installed finally. That is the brand new kit, as I mentioned earlier, that just hit the market. Link in the bottom. Please grab them while you can, because we know what a problem it has been getting the flex fuel kits. Not only are we doing that to this car, or did we just do that, but we have the ETS titanium exhaust getting installed next week on this car, and then we'll be going down to meet up with Chris Carby to actually get our flex fuel tune. Also, the white Evo is going to be getting some stuff done very soon here. The blue Evo this week, and we still have the K-Series MR2 we're working on right now. We did get all our 4-piston stuff, crazy intake manifolds. I don't want to show you guys too much, but plenty of stuff is coming for that crazy K-Series swap in the MR2. Evo's all day getting worked on, guys. I hope you guys do enjoy these videos. If you do, please hit that like button, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. See you in the next one.